Thank you for joining me for today's pick a card. Today we're going to be doing the Lovers. We're not going to be doing the Lovers, that sounds really salacious, but we're going to be doing a reading about lovers, specifically on how to pick the correct one or what is the dilemma. And so if you have two choices, two options, or if someone in your life has two choices, two options, this will give you insight into what it is that they're thinking or what they're struggling about and weighing one against the other, if that makes sense. So without further ado, our anchor card is going to be from the Divine Animals Oracle. I'm going to pick those on camera, but I will leave them out in the open for you to select as well when you first click on the video. So for the lovers, we're doing a lovers reading today because that's a message that Spirit wanted. So here we are. So my pile number one, my animal oracle, Divine Animal Oracle. For pile number one, I knew that was going to come out, the tarantula. All right, so pile number two is going to be the seahorse. And pile number three, your Divine Animal Oracle is going to be the hyena. Take a moment to look, and I will meet you at your reading. Thank you for joining me, pile number one. I'm glad that you were not in fear of the tarantula card because it's actually a really beautiful message. And for you repeat offenders, thank you for coming and hanging out with me again. And for your newbies, I want to thank you also for showing up, and I hope that you find this a nice, warm, and loving space for you as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit from this book about the tarantula. It is the number, it's a number 13. Who needs glasses? Again, that would be me. Number 13. And keep in mind, I think about right away, I'm being led to think about the tarot and how number 13th is a card of death. And so something has to really change and transmute. Now, this looks a little bit different, but let's just read real quick from this book. And it says, the daughter of the great goddess Diana, Aradia, stepped upon the earth charged with sacred duty of reconnecting the people with the birthrights of balance and love. Such was the environment Aradia was born into, that the old ways were being forced underground. The feminine divine disrespected, and the earth's never-ending cycles of the moon and the seasons ignored and forgotten. And I can't think of anything even more perfect than for this actual reading about the lovers and about the selecting the right one and about the struggle. So we are all divinely connected, and even if we get into situations where there are more than your significant other involved, or if you're the other, or if you're the main person. So this could be love triangles, basically. Love triangles. I've never done a reading specifically about love triangles before, but basically here we are. So now what I want to tell you is that I feel like right now you could be really feeling disrespected just based on what we read. So it could be that you're found out that your lover has another, or that they've been talking to someone, and for whatever reason you feel incredibly disrespected, never mind the hurt and everything else. I feel like at this point there's a lot of anger to be dealt with, and I get it. I've been there. So another thing that I want to point out is I feel like this can allude to, I keep getting internet vibes, like this would be my internet card connectivity. This is opening up your spouse's email, significant other, or the one that you love, okay? And opening up their email or social media and finding out that they have been inboxed by another female, inboxed by another male, and that they've been really carrying on. whether by words or deeds. And it feels like, I feel like you have been feeling a separation, like a weirdness or something different off, like you don't have their full attention, or that something is amiss, or a weird texting going on at different hours of the day, or they tend to disappear, or they're not as in tune with you, or not showing up. All of these variables are possible here. And I feel like this connection is, and by the way, yes, this could be pornography, with, you know, someone who's just obsessed with porn. They keep being drugged back into the web, the land of La La Land, where things are just not real. And that could be really greatly affecting your life. And so there are decisions to be made right now. But this is about bringing and coming back into your sacred space and integrating the phases, knowing that everything has a phase. I mean, the sun rises, the sun rises. The sun rises, and I guess so does the moon, actually. And so there, for everything, there is a season. I think about even the phases of the moon being reflected here. And so this too, I'm being told, shall pass. And so it's a really difficult time. I'm being led to look at the forest behind her. And it's like this person cannot see the forest for the trees. And so I feel like there could be some blindness going on, or you feel like you were blindsided, that you should have known all along. And so I do feel, again, that there's a lot of anger vibes and a lot of deep, deep sadness. And for that, I am very, very sorry. It could be feeling like you're being pulled down into a world that you never even knew existed, down a rabbit hole. That is just absolutely shocking and stunning. So let's move on. Okay, so what is going on with this connection? Why is this tarantula card here about the lovers, please? About those involved in a relationship where maybe there's another person involved, or maybe there is something that's pulling your spouse away from you. It could be drugs, even any addiction, drug, sex, alcohol, just being out of touch on the internet all the time. That's an addiction too. Okay, so we have, you've been under a lot of stress, the 9 of air. Okay, a ton of stress going on here, a lot of different messages. I feel like you have gotten a lot of messages, and that's what's kept you awake at night. You're like, your intuition is pinging, if there is such a word. And it's kind of sad how interconnected we are, where I would even use the word your intuition is pinging, because now it's related to even a sound, a mechanical sound that we would get off our phones or computer, any other devices. So interesting. But I feel like there's a lot of anxiety, and you want to be able to not be encircled by this anymore. You want to be able to get a higher perspective. You want to be able to see what it is that you need to see and gain clarity. Okay, and so there's a lot of fears also that are circling around you. So what else do we need to know about this lover situation with my pile number 1? Let's find out. The 7 of water, yeah. There's choices here. Again, the lovers, we're reading about that as choices. And I feel like this person is trying to keep you in their web, keeping you stuck, keeping you in the dark, while they themselves are entrenched or enmeshed in something else entirely. And so they don't want to let you go, but they also don't want to give you their full attention. And that's not good. And this is backed up by the 7 of water. If that is your situation, then I'm really, really sorry. I have been in the same position. So I do understand it. I'm having a hard time even speaking. It could be that you can't even articulate your own words. You're having a hard time speaking, or the truth is just not being spoken to you, and it's got you very emotional. Okay. I had this jumper come out. So I do have the 8 of earth. So this is about a need to go ahead and do some homework. do some studying. Listen, I'm going to tell you that for the right side, it always represents to me the divine masculine, your counterpart, even if it's the same sex. We're equal opportunity offender here. If it is the same sex, then I want to say that regardless, this could be the divine masculine talking about the divine masculine characteristics. Like, for example, maybe they're saying that they're working too much, or they're enmeshed in a new project that has taken all their time away and things like that. But there's more to the story going on. So that is not the full story, because there's a lot of options here and your intuition is telling you. So always listen to your gut. Never give your power to another. Listen to your gut. I heard gaslighting, so you're, I feel like some of you guys could be being currently ridiculed for what's going on right now. And always follow your instinct, because your intuition will tell you. Look, we got this jumper for you. We have got the Empress. And so while your lover or your significant other is telling you that they're working late nights, that they have to go on trips and things like that, that may or may not be true. That is not the full truth, because they're definitely putting a lot of effort elsewhere. I feel like whereas maybe you had 80% of their attention, now you're starting to feel like it's dwindling down to 40 or 30% of their attention, okay? So I have the Empress. You could be, this could be somebody who's pregnant. This could be you. This could be the other person that they are messing with or intrigued with. Maybe you looked online at their messages and found out they had a fetish for women that are pregnant. It is a thing. Sorry, I should make this 18 and up. I didn't realize that. But it could be something like that. Now, we're noticing right here the number 3, 3 people involved in here. You too have a lot of options, but you're not even like fantasizing about that. You want to establish and give birth to something that is beautiful, and you are the quintessential mother, for lack of a better way. You could be a mom, but you could also be somebody who gives birth creatively to a lot of different projects. A lot of what you do with your hands bring about fruit, bring about, I want to say, abundance, okay? You learn how to harvest what you put your time, money, energy, effort into. And I feel like this is even saying, you know what, I'm putting all my energy and effort into someone that says that they're busy and kind of constantly working. And it may or may not be true, but they're being pulled and just led away from you. And so I think that you're going to look at that very balanced, and you're going to make some decisions yourself, because while the Lover's always about decisions, the old and the new, typically it talks about, traditionally anyways, it talks about being involved with somebody who is much older and somebody who is about the same age, or, take that as you will. So it could be somebody involved in your situation, like the old relationship versus the new, or it could be somebody who is, younger than you. Any of those scenarios fit, but regardless, it's just not working for you. So it's time to get disentangled. What do we need to know, please, for my beautiful pile number ones, to help them heal, help them get out of this mess, one way or another, whether it's seeking clarity. What is it that they need, please? Let's find out. The Tower. Things are going to have to crumble in order for you to get to the bottom of everything. And so I feel like things will, if you have, if you're married, partnered, or in a serious relationship, things are going to go to the nitty gritty. Everything that you built, I feel like you're going to question everything and start rebuilding by brick, but you're going to tear it down first and look at everything. Was this even true? Was this even true? You could be looking at, I'm getting traveling, like when you traveled here and there, and looking at Texas and comparing timelines and things like that, and just seeing, okay, did I live my life based on fiction? Because what was really going on behind the scenes that I was not aware of? Maybe your significant other was, I heard tranny. Okay, maybe they were like cross-dressing, or their presence online is that of a transvestite or a cross-dresser or a sissy, or I didn't even realize we were going to go there. I heard cuck. Okay, this is definitely 18 and up. And you are, I feel like a lot of you guys are not aware of even what those things are. And so this is brand new to you, and you're having to get clarity on all of this, and that's why you're pulling your own house apart brick by brick and looking, okay, this timeline, okay, well, that's when so and so bought this, and then now I see it in this email being referenced, or you find pictures and you're like, oh wow, that's, you know, these heels were bought supposedly for me, but then they're wearing them, or fishnets, or whatever the case may be. I don't know, something is going on here for sure. What else do we need to know for our pile number 3 to help them discover, help them uncover, and help them just to be where they need to be, just stable and focused and feeling powerful again? Let's find out. Excuse me. We have got the Muse of Material, and because this is such a deep and kind of heavy reading, I'm going to go ahead and read from the book, okay, because I feel like you're needing a lot of support right now, and I don't want to blow it. So give me one moment, please. Wow, this is just amazing. Even my hair, you guys, is standing up. It's like, I feel like even when you're stumbling across this reading, you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that's exactly what I'm going through. I can't believe that this is my life, my reality, that kind of a thing. I feel a lot of shock vibes. And indeed, actually, the Tower could be a shock, right? Because the Tower represents everything like coming undone and unraveling. I promise we will get there. Muse of Materials, here we are. So the keywords is abundance, earth energy, life, material success, the journey of creating prosperity, being able to provide for those you love, the joy of a life well lived, grounding into the earth, gratitude, comfort, wealth, health, happiness. And this is dirt magic. In the garden of life, she finds herself at a door. Above it sits the Muse of Materials, reflecting in all of nature. She whispers from the flowers and the grass, the trees. She flitters among the birds in the babbles of the creek. This muse uses all the materials of the earth to bring her world into form. She looks down and offers a lesson of manifesting in abundance. Sweet Creator, those things are yours for the taking and the using, the fusing and the gentle forming. Your harvest, little spout, arises from the earth, so ground into her low humming energy and breathe into her humidity and warmth. It's time to take another small step towards the gardens of life and commit to watering, healing, dancing, and loving. As much as you can, material success and joys are arriving. Seek the grounding energy of earthly delights and know that your own fertile lands are blooming now. And that really totally goes in with the other card that we pulled for you, that talks about being the quintessential mother, the Empress right here. So you have a lot of earth energy. You want that which is stable and true. I feel like perhaps some of you guys are saying, well, how can I even deal with this? This not only erodes and takes away everything that I thought we were building together, but perhaps you are a stay-at-home mom, perhaps you don't have a job, and you haven't worked in a while, and you're feeling like, okay, this is my stability for everything, and I feel in some ways kind of controlled. I can't just up and leave. And I'm not saying to up and leave by any means. You have to do what is good for you, but I do feel like you have a clear path to walk through. This is a portal, and you want to go ahead and cross that bridge. I heard cross that bridge when you come to it, but glean all the information and put your own elbow grease and your own work into discovery, meaning discovering facts versus fiction. But in the end, I mean, how much do you want to unearth? So be careful that you don't become obsessed with trying to gather more information to the point where you feel just as stuck as you did before you began, like you can't even move and you're rendered and you're leveled because it's so overwhelming and so I heard degrading. And so this to me almost looks like where you insert your key to unlock a door. And so I do feel like you have a lot of abundance coming your way. I do feel like you're going to be headed towards abundance. In the end, I always say, please pick you above and beyond anyone else, including any partners, because I feel like Spirit's going to provide for you a means in a way. And so with that, I am going to send you a lot of love and a prayer for just a healing heart, and also for means to be able to help you get out of situations that are not good for you. So I hope that resonated. Please do smash that button, like, share, comment, subscribe. And with that, I will leave you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Pile number 2. This message is just for you. So you chose the seahorse. It is a number 14, and it says equality. And by the way, I love seahorses. They are my favorite little creatures. So that is going to be our anchor, and let's go ahead and read from the good book. It says, seek equality in relationships, in particular intimate ones. You'll attract what you resonate. You can decide your future. Hiding from our fears is rarely a good strategy. It is a time to ensure that the domestic and emotional labor in your world is shared equally. So it is said that the beautiful sea nymph Salero, I don't know if I said that right, was happy and content that she kept a sea garden of beautiful corals and seahorses. The king of all the seas, the great Neptune, saw her one day and set his heart upon her, wanting for her to be his wife. I'm going to call her S because I can't pronounce her name. S was chaste and inexperienced and feared Neptune. She was afraid that he would give her away, take her away from all she loves, or worse. So she hid from him in one of the furthest oceans. Neptune meant no harm or disrespect to S and reached for her, sending his favorite dolphin to look. The dolphin found her and her seahorses, and they explained her fears to him. The dolphin assured him that they would be happy with Neptune and that S would not lose the things she loved most. S consented to marriage, and Neptune loved and honored her. And she wore pearls in her hair and rode in the pearl shell of chariot drawn by both seahorses and dolphins. I love that. Okay. So in this case, I want to, because we're reading about love and about the lover specifically and about choices. And even here, I mean, this person is showing up for her and she's kind of turned away just the way we described it. And we've got the seahorses trying to kind of like even talk to her or even defend her in this case. A lot of water, a lot of emotions. You could be going through a lot of emotions at this point in time in your relationship. And this is always about, because we're talking about lovers, talking about choices and choices that we are faced with on day to day. Choices in relationships. So maybe you have two people vying for your attention, or you're being torn between being single and being called upon to give someone else your time of the day. Okay. So it's it could be any of those scenarios and many more that I'm not even mentioning, I'm sure. But the one thing is real here and solid and consistent. Pile number 2 is that someone is showing up for you, wants to show up for you, and you've been running away with fear, with thinking like maybe they're not the one, or what do I have to give up, or it took me so long to find myself that I can't lose me once again. So any of these things could really resonate with you. And I feel like, oh my goodness, these cards are jumping. My guys are like, get it, going, Grisel. Okay. So there are ends of contracts. So I feel like this is more of an end of a contract with yourself, an end of a contract of a stalemate. So you could have had somebody pursuing you, inviting you out, doing all sorts of things. And because you've had crappy relationships in the past and you have some wounds that haven't quite healed, you've done a lot of knee-jerk reacting. I feel like this person does not mean you any harm. They have an intensity and just a real focus on wanting to be close to you. And I do feel like you are burning a lot of contracts right now, including the stalemate contract, where it's like, I got to make a decision, but I'm not going to make it. So if you've been in a quandary, feeling like you want to welcome love into your life, oh my goodness, these cards are like dying to talk, all of them all at once. And So perhaps you are saying right here that it's like, you know what, I'm in a stalemate. I know what I need to do. I'm listening to my higher self. Everything is so nebulous. I'm not going to come out of this fog until I see it nice and clear. It's just not going to happen. And so you have been like pushing anyone away who wants to come towards you, who wants to date you, wants to talk to you. You're not really giving anyone the time of the day because you're listening to your inner self and just really holding sacred space for you. And while that is good, now has come the time for you to burn some contracts, some old outmoded tapes of things such as like I can't find love, or nobody loves me, or whenever I get in a relationship they always want to control me, or they're always like jealous, or I find that I lose myself in my relationships and I can't be independent, and I would stand to lose all of these things if I were to try to get involved in a relationship, because past history dictates or says to me that that's what I've done in the past. But you can make a break in those contracts. You are not the old you. You have grown and evolved. You have meditated and thought about things long enough. You have also ran away long enough. So it's time to welcome in the waters of love, of potential, of joy, and burn everything that no longer serves you. Now I look at her hand, and her hand actually looks burnt. So during these contracts, it could be that you feel like you're burning your own hand. It could feel like you have a lot at risk in order to move forward with anyone, or even accepting a date. So it's almost like burning a part of yourself because you've spent so much time, I feel like, in isolation, and not due to current world events or anything like that, but more like isolating your heart in general from other people due to old hurts and old programming. All right, so I do feel like right now there's a lot of blue being referenced, and you are in the process of speaking your truth and burning old outmoded tapes. And even perhaps because remember that the dolphins, in this case seahorses, reported back to the man, Neptune, was it? I forget. But anyways, it reported back to him what her fears were. So maybe now is the time to like air out and share what it is and why you've been rebuffing someone, if that's how you pronounce it. Just say things like, this is why I've kind of kept everything low key and haven't really wanted to meet, or whatever. So whatever your truth is, maybe now's the time to speak up and allow others to be privy to those things that are going on in your mind and heart. Okay, what else do we need to know about our pal number 2? Let's find out. Okay, we're taking these two. The Chariot, that will cause great movement. You're going to feel like you have all your ducks in a row, all your horses in a row, but most importantly, all of your energies headed in the same direction. I feel like you have, by having all of these old contracts and listening to them, like for example, old contracts again can be people telling you, oh, you're not worth this, and I can't believe, and you're nobody would do that for you, or you are, I don't know, all the negative things that people tell us, perhaps even from your childhood, things like that, could be. I feel like in listening to that, you have not been able to move forward in years. You could have been feeling stuck, and so now you're going to feel like the juice of life returned back to you, energy back into your solar plexus, which is like, okay, I'm going to go after what I want. A lot of stability with burning these contracts, okay, that have made you feel unstable. And look at her, she's like, you know what, I can puppeteer all of these energies to go in the direction I want them to. And so she controls a mass herd of horses. Are they called a herd? I'm not really sure. But anyways, it's amazing to think about how fragmented we can become. I feel like even all of those contracts have splintered you into smithereens, and you're collecting all of you, the true you, not the outdated bulge that other people have said, okay? But this is like the real you to move forward. Yeah, and you're experiencing an ending. It's like all of this stuff that has caused you so much pain, all the words, even I'm laying on things that people have told me, like they set up the sword and said, okay, pile number 2, jump on it because you suck or whatever. And we've accepted those tapes, whether they're friends and family or frenemies or coworkers or whatever. But these are really deep wounds of betrayal. and things like that, that people are just really selfish and nasty sometimes. And so it's time to get off of those swords. This reminds me even of the Tower right here in this deck. Get off of those swords and reclaim your power and integrate you with you. Okay, that's the most important part. So before you even finding a partner, I feel like this is just even being open and giving people a chance. All right, that wants to stay, so we're going to look at it. Giving people a chance, you know, because I feel like what it's saying is that vibration of number 10 is the end of mental anguish, of suffering, and fire. These are wands here of carrying too much burden of what people have said and done, and the burden and the pain of all that stuff. So you're moving forward, moving on. And the Chariot, with it being a number 7, is super spiritual number as well. So you are connecting more to the divine, okay, in this case. All right, so for my pile number 2, what else do we need to know? Why is a seahorse here, please? Let's find out. Ace of Voices. Yeah, so you're going to be able to speak your truth, gain clarity, gain a higher perspective. And I feel like you're currently doing that. You're also having the ability, look, she's still looking at the back. I mean, this has like leveled you. This could have been people that said some devastating things to you and then passed away. You didn't have a chance to reconcile. Or the apologies, plural, that you have never gotten, that have really cut you to the quick. I feel like you could be an empath, a healer also, by the way, because those of us that are really, really wounded tend to heal others easily. Interesting, isn't that? So, yeah, you could have different colored hair, love rainbow hair, maybe fuchsia hair, pink, red, anything with the greens and yellows, and I love that. You could be multicultural, very well-rounded as well. So, what else do we need to know about the Lovers, please, about making a choice? I feel like this is choosing you above even a lover or another. First of all, it's choosing you, the real, authentic you, not what they have said about you. And allowing those things to dissolve and realizing that it's all been a lie this whole time. And then when you choose you, then you can welcome another partner or person in. Even if you're connected right now. It's like maybe you've been held back by all of this and you've never been able to give yourself fully to another out of fear. What else do we need to know for our pile number 2? Let's find out. 8 of Emotion, yeah. Walking away, 8 of Cups. You're walking away from that void that seemed black as hell, like you couldn't get away from it. And it was a situation where maybe you tried to cause peace or get people to accept you, or people to see you differently, or even like you kept open relationships because you thought maybe someday you would get an apology, or whatever the case may be. And it was just not forthcoming. Perhaps somebody died, a parent or spouse, or significant other, and you were not able to get the, what do they call it, like resolution. There's another word that's just not even coming to me, but really there is no it's not resolution. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna think about it after I'm done with the reading. Anyways, there's no like feeling at peace with this necessarily. It's just like deciding, okay, in spite of all this, I've gained so much strength, and I've been in such a place of sadness that I'm emotionally moving on, seeking who I really am, embodying and grabbing my personal power and moving forward. And therefore, that's how you're going to find your 9th cup, is essentially by moving away from BS. Look, this jumped out of my deck. And finding you. So this is a journey more about finding you and then opening up to other people. An awakening. I feel like you are going to start having a major awakening here and harnessing your own energy. You could be a light worker, energy worker, masseuse. You could do cupping, I don't know, different Reiki, different modes of healing that I'm not even aware of. Acupuncture, acupressure, chiropractor. Okay. And you're taking, look, with the awakening, you're starting to realize that you are you're divine. You're made of stardust. I mean, you are incredibly beautiful. You're leaving this town. Maybe some of you guys are moving. You're leaving this place that was like parched and had nothing to offer you to step into the new. So maybe you're leaving, you're cutting ties. I feel like even some of you guys are cutting ties with friends, with family, with frenemies, with people that have stepped on your shoulders and you stepped on your head to level themselves up, to raise themselves up, to make themselves feel better. And you're no longer accepting that kind of behavior from people around you that call themselves your friend. So you're stepping in your power, and while it could be scary at the moment, you do have a lot of support if you but look around you, okay? So this great awakening is causing a parting of the clouds, and you will be able to speak your truth. That is actually divine. I heard prismatic effect. You could have a really new draw to colors, which is like, this is almost reflected in the colors of the girl's hair we saw earlier. And also you could be drawn to want to color your hair differently, just be a little bit different, wear more colorful makeup than you ever have before, just sort of like enjoying things that you never have before and evolving, and of course awakening to spirit in a way that you never have before. So I hope that this message resonates with you, and if it does, please do smash that like button, like, share, comment, subscribe. I appreciate your time, and namaste. Hi, pile number 3. If you chose pile number 3, this message is for thee. I did it again. We are going to be looking today at the Lovers specifically, and that's going to be our anchor idea. Now we have the hyena. And with the hyena energy, we're going to go ahead and read from the book, just so we are on target. I love this deck. It's so beautiful. I mean, I love how you can almost cut that card in half. Everything from here to the left, I feel like you just intuitively, obviously, everything from the left on over is your past. I feel like it's things that you are leaving behind, things that are kind of like desolate, destitute, dry. There is no abundance there any longer. The past is the past. We can't recreate it. We can't live in it. We can only move forward with the here and now, not even towards a future. It's just like living and absorbing where you're at currently and your current circumstances, and realizing what abundance is around you now. And of course you can like propagate new seeds, new flowers, taking care of your garden, and taking care of your finances, your relationships, your romance as well, because this is a love read about the lovers. And so you know, everything that has been before, maybe this is saying, is just we need to put it to bed if we're going to stay with the same partner. And that is a choice as well. We need to acknowledge and enjoy the current moment, and sow seeds for the future that are going to be healthy and beneficial. So, excuse me, the hyena. Fear. Examine your fears, especially fear of the difference of unknown and of death. There may be an abandonment of something, a belief, a person, a place. Remember that because something is strange, it doesn't mean that it cannot be beautiful or good. We all have a job to do. We all have our own genius. Be sure you have the correct information to have truthful understanding. Sorry about that. I had a coughing fit. But, okay. So, the hyena, particularly the spotted hyena, has a rich tapestry of mythos across many countries and cultures. Is it mythos? Mythos. This is from West Africa. At first there was darkness and a long night. It was very cold. There were no stars and the moon was just being born. A long way and up very high was the sun. Many animals thought they might reach the sun and bring it closer. Many tried, especially the birds. The hyena watched the sun and thought, I will wait until the cycle brings it closer and then grab it. He waited, looking as though he were not interested. He just got on with things. The sun ignored the hyena and circled lower. All at once, a hyena with its huge jaws and strong teeth and rippling muscles launched itself into the air and pulled the sun down to the earth, bringing light and warmth where there was none. He laughed happily and ate the hot bones of his prey. Wow. That is super cool. So that is pretty much like looking into the sun. I love how the hyena pretended that he didn't care about anything, and then all of a sudden he just jumped in there and grabbed that sun. So it could be that somebody is perpetuating kind of like a facade, like, oh, they don't care. Maybe they have not given you the attention and ignored you. So if this is, we're talking about lovers again, this is about a lover who potentially is just ignoring you, not giving a lot of attention, and it seems like they don't even care, but when in reality they want to lure you and draw you in closer before they pounce, or vice versa. Okay, now I feel like also most of this reading is going to be about those of us who have had like relationships that are ended. Maybe you had a spouse or significant other that passed away, and this is the time for you to open up to living in the moment, to even touching things tangible around you and reminding yourself, I'm in this moment, I'm not in the past, I'm not on dry, cracked, barren land where nothing grows. I'm a living being, and I'm a living person, and I can honor the memory of everyone and everything, but I can also live in the moment, because how they say you can't step in a river twice comes to mind. But it's going to be really important to know that you need to nourish and take care of yourself, if that is your scenario, or if you're mourning someone that perhaps has left you with the Lover's card. It is a choice between the old and the new, and maybe someone has chosen someone else, or maybe you did. Regardless of the case, it was a situation where everything was real clouded. You couldn't gain a clear perspective on what was going on, and perhaps like you were feeling like you were ignored, or your relationship was ignored, and there was just nothing there for you. Okay, and so now's the time with the lovers is just to embrace the current moment, embrace yourself, gain a higher perspective, and look at things with a different set of eyes. Look at the abundance that you have around you, the fact that most of you guys have running water, that most of you guys have electricity, that most of us can look and find a patch of grass anywhere, as long as we don't live in Arizona. I'm just kidding. I'm not bitter. Who's bitter? Me? No. But it's just gaining a different perspective and enjoying the little things that you have right now, putting you in an attitude of gratitude that's going to really change and transmute things for you. Okay, moving on. So for pile number 3, what do we have for thee? Let's find out. The call of judgment, about personal power once again. So you could be making judgments against someone else. Let me move this camera. It's really noisy, but you could be having a court judgment against you, or a court judgment against someone else. It could involve a divorce, if indeed this is that kind of a thing. This could be about having assets and everything go through like probate, or maybe somebody's will when they passed away is being contested, and it has to go in front of a judge to get clarified. Anything like that could be possibilities. But most of all, I feel like you are calling in your personal power. You are leaving behind anything that makes you feel dry and it's not giving, that you're the one constantly giving. Anything that makes you feel like a statue, that you're frozen, that you are stuck in a cycle of I don't know, I don't understand. You're not having it anymore. You are reclaiming your power. Okay, so what else do we have here? We have balance. For pile number 3, what do we have for thee? Let's find out. We have got the 4 of water. So it's a situation also that perhaps you were indifferent. They were indifferent to whatever it is that you offered. Maybe even stuck in a relationship where you've been feeling like you're not getting the best from that person. And meaning that they're perhaps like, I heard watering hole. They could be maybe drinking too much, having too many party times with friends, things like that, or really offering their love elsewhere, and you are, you know, being diminished or treated like a side chick or side dude or Sancho. We again are not a channel where we talk about like sex and gender necessarily. We're equal opportunity offenders, and we love all of you. So The Four of Water, again, somebody's offering something, and I feel like you're just not having it anymore. The same way that you were rebuffed, I feel, is the same way that you're going to rebuff other people that come at you with this energy of nothing to offer you. Okay. What do we have for number 3? Thank you. Let's find out. I'm going to take that jumper first. The Four of Inspiration. You want stability. You're thinking about your corner of the earth. I even see these little like fabricated clouds, and I'm going to show you something here. This totally reminds me. You did not hear that bag of chips crinkle, did you? No, you did not. So look at this. Petrified wood. And I feel almost like they're sitting on petrified wood. Doesn't it look like that? I mean, look at the sides here. Super cool. Anyways, yeah. Moving on. Gristle. Distraction. I feel like this is for inspiration. You could be wanting to set up shop, to really ground yourself, to have a home, or calling your person your home. And it's like, you know what? You haven't been home in forever. Or maybe this person hasn't come home in forever. I feel like this person hasn't respected you in a lot of ways, or you haven't felt respected. And you are moving on to create that stability that you want for yourself. You're calling back all of your energy, your personal power. The four corners of the earth, the four corners of your home are being called back, and all of your energy. And it's okay to even say, you know what, I demand and I cut cords of anyone who's sucking on my energy from this day forward. And I call back my energy to myself. You cannot leech, you cannot borrow, you can't use any of my energy. The end, right? So you could make that into mantra as well. What else do we have for my pile number 3? Let's find out. The Queen of Voices. This card came out when I was trying to determine what it was that I was going to do a reading on, and what I had in mind. Spirit said no. So here we are. I feel like you're going to come into your own. You're going to know what it is that you're going to cut out, and that is the old, anything that just feels like it's not you anymore. Clothing that maybe was given to you, things that were given to you that isn't you, that's outmoded, outdated, and you are going to be coming into your own. Look at how she's wearing like feathers all across her arm. It's almost like a shrug made of feathers, and her hair is just so stinking cute and modern. And that bob, dramatic bob. And look at the crows. I feel like you're going to come into a lot of intellectual energy. You're going to be looking at the past once again. Offers that you did not want. Things that were crappy for you that you once accepted. And you're going to cut those mothers like nothing. And people are going to be surprised. They're going to be like, wow, so-and-so is such a biatch. Because I've never seen them act like this before. And I feel like people might even be talking about how you're full of yourself, or all of a sudden you just changed. Yeah, you gained your power back. Yeah, you're changing. And yeah, you change. You're not accepting the ish other people give you. You're not accepting less than. And you're not doing any longer what is good for everybody else, and like stabbing your own feet to the ground. What is the point of that? So you might be perceived, but you know what? Other people's perception of you too damn bad. If you are looked at as a B, then so be it. Doesn't make a difference. You are going to enjoy with gratitude the plenty that you have now. The sun rises, the sun sets. I feel like you have the ability to fly right now. So maybe you're waiting on a settlement, on some money, things like that, before you can leave a certain situation. And I just got this. The Ace of Inspiration. You could be, it was reversed, it fell upside down. You could be feeling at this very moment that your past, whatever was in your past is lackluster. It does not really inspire you. It's like not anything that you would take down the runway with you, I heard. So for some of you, yeah, I'm even getting the start reversed. So this came up upside down. And I just want to say that whatever was being offered to you before, you're not accepting that any longer. You've got the Nine of Wands. You've been wounded. You're the wounded warrior. You've been hurt. And whatever the case is, right now, you are with all poise and regality. Is that a word? It is now. With all poise and regality, you're going to move forward and accept yourself first. And everybody else and everything else comes in second and last. We're not even counting at this point. You're a top dog, okay? And the reason being is that people have taken advantage of your generosity, of you mistakenly putting other people's needs before yourself. You have to be, there's a reason why when you fly, they say put your own mask on before everybody else's. You know, you can't help anybody like that. I just had a thought, but stop, okay. But I think that you're being really careful to listen to rhyme and reason now. I watched, I'm going to mention it because it came up in my mind. I watched something and thought of like a docu-series or a blip on something on YouTube that talks about how the airlines actually, if you're in a collision, like airline crashes, I mean, you know, aircraft crashes or something like that, they don't want you to survive. And so even though they're like, well, put your own mask on, your own respirator on before anybody else's and things like that, the whole crouching forward and contorting your body in that motion in order to withstand a crash is actually designed to make sure that you actually get killed. I don't know. That's kind of morbid, but that's what I was thinking right now. So I feel like you're not trusting anyone, especially with the Nine of Wands coming out. You have learned that people always look out for their best interests, and that I feel like you were new and true. You really put everybody else above, and it did not work for you. You put everything above, and it almost killed you. You put everybody else above, and it made you sink to the bottom, and no one gave a damn. And I feel like those days are over. And now you are cleaning up your act. You're renovating. You're cutting off all the bush, all the it that doesn't belong in your life any longer. Everything that made you feel sad, depressed, depleted, and despair, I heard. Okay, so all of those lovers, all of those ties, all of the things from the past, you are cutting them out. Whether it's jobs, it's people, it's lovers, it's spouses, it doesn't make a difference. You're going to reevaluate, and if they can't treat you, I mean, would you dare come to this queen and be like, with this energy, not even giving her breadcrumbs? It's like vulture energy. I'm going to take from you. I don't think so, because this queen will straight cut you, okay? You could be somebody who's really connected also to birds, to crows, to ravens. I love them. To grackles. I love them so much. I want to have them. But you could be seeing them kind of like hopping along and just stop and staring at you, flying by you, or perching somewhere just looking at you specifically and giving you messages. If you but open up your crown chakra and listen, you can totally do this. Everybody can, if you have just a desire to kind of quiet your mind. Now, I want to tell you that these wings for a moment almost look like fingers trying to grab at you. So it could be like fingers trying to grab at your mind. It's just a triangle on top of your mind, like trying to almost shield you from divine messages, your divinity, okay? So it could be that your spouse kept you oppressed, kept you suppressed, or and you know that people treated you in that manner, and they wanted you not to really achieve your fullest potential because it made them feel better. But these are different days, baby. These are different days. All right. Last messages for my pile number 3. What do we have today? Oh, okay. We're taking that. You're getting your mojo back. You are getting you back. Okay. So we have the Muse of Inspiration. We're going to go ahead and read from the good book. It's just the booklet, okay? Inspiration, success, an inspired leader, a visionary, thinking big, the ability to bring many moving parts together into one large story. Remaining inspired, taking action, making sure you don't create unrealistic expectations. The finish line of the Phoenix. Welcome, tiny traveler, to the world of inspiration. Expect to be initiated in ways you cannot yet imagine, fully captivated by ideals and propelled by enthusiastic ambitions. This muse offers fire to the brand to brand the edges of your experience and tracing excitement to ignite wisdom in your heart. She asks you to enlist the help of others along the way, and she shares her power to turn ash that which has been anchoring you. And she shares her power to turn to ash that which has been anchoring you. So yeah, we're burning away all the old. We just talked about that. That's so cool. Remember that your warm cocoon of confidence and determination will light up your heart with belief and inspiration. It will sing into being by Phoenix energy that will allow you to rise from the depths of anything that has been put in your path. Whatever you've been through, you are going to rise above, okay? You're going to rise again in a way that nobody sees coming. With butterfly heart flutters and breath to deliver life, it's time to set your world aglow. Vision and acumen will be your guides. It's time to find powerful success and take inspired action as you fall in love with your goals. So this is your mojo. So notice how this jumped out and it was upside down. This is about not having that inspiration, about feeling like everything is just dampened. You light a match and it's damp and it just doesn't even spark. And now it's like you are finding divinity. Look at her hair. It almost looks like beautifully braided. You see her gorgeous neckline. She is set afire. And leaving everything behind that is no longer good for her. These almost look like wings, and you're integrating your past self with your current self, and you're becoming one. At some point, I feel like you were split. It could be that some of you guys struggle with being bipolar, or what used to be known as multiple personalities, or like people go, well, you're different depending on, you're like a chameleon, you split depending on who you are around, and that's a survival technique. And I feel like some of you guys are integrating into yourself once again and becoming a whole person. Now, this is not a judgment against mental illness or anything like that, not by a long shot. I've had my own struggles, and so this is just saying that whatever has splintered you, whatever has been done in the past, perhaps people have stood on your head, have broken you down, with words, with fists, with feet. It could be, physical violence, mental violence, or manipulation, control, all of it. It could be sexual abuse. It could be the inability to choose for yourself. All that has splintered you into being kind of like a chameleon, like being okay with everybody and everything. And now that is no longer okay. You're rising up and reclaiming your power. And if everybody else likes Pepsi, but you'll be damned if you're going to drink that crap, then you're going to be like, I don't like it. And you're not going to roll with it anymore. You're like, I don't want that. And you're going to be confident. And that's obviously a minor example, but I feel like that's how you're going to be reclaiming your power. She's very poised, very ready to work down this. It's very linear. Everything is together. You are following your own intuition and once again integrating all parts of you. I feel like I've been many different people in this one life, and I can relate to that story of integrating different parts of myself, being absorbed, and then becoming just one with myself finally. And so for whatever reason, whether that was done to you or a lot of us buy into the narrative that we are less than because other people continually say it, and so we believe it, and that's just a bunch of ish. Okay, so know that you are loved, you are divine, you are part of spirit, and Source has direct messages for you. You can connect with you yourself, with Source, okay? I feel like that's going to set you ablaze on fire. That's going to elevate you into seeing better times, feeling like life is just abundant like it never has before. You're going to look at things totally, totally different. So I can't wait to find out what beautiful things happen for you and with you and to you, my loves. And I hope that you enjoyed this message. And if you did, please do smash that like button, like comment, share, subscribe, shaman people. Pile number 3, will you shaman my channel, please? Right. Okay. But you know what I'm talking about. And so also, please do check out the other pick-a cards that I have here. And with that, lovelies, thank you so much. Namaste.